Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Winter Wonderland Holiday Lesson webinar. My name is Tara, and this is my co-host.
I'm Teresa.
And it seems like just yesterday we were doing a webinar on Halloween, and now Christmas is already coming up. So we know that we love to give everyone a little bit of time to prep for the holidays coming up. So we wanted to do our Winter Wonderland lessons now so that everyone has some time to plan for it, and especially since Thanksgiving's coming up. So we're going to go ahead and start with a few poll questions that everyone could answer really quickly. It's just so that we can find out more information about you and your classrooms. So let me go ahead and launch the first question. Are you already using Ozobots in the classroom? And you can select one of the following. I've been using them for more than a year. I've been using them for less than a year. Just received the Ozobots and are looking to use them. I do not have them but are looking to purchase. And my colleagues have Ozobots that I have access to. Okay, I'll give everyone just a couple more seconds to place their votes. Okay. And it looks like 38% of you have been using them for over a year, 43% for less than a year, and 10% don't have them, and 10% colleagues have them that you have access to. Okay. Let's go on to the next question. Which model are you using? Bit, Evo, or both? Okay. 43% Bit, 30% Evo, and 26% both. Now we have what grade levels are you using Ozobot with? K to 2nd grade, 3rd to 5th grade, 6th to 8th grade, or K to 8, and then we have high school and college. Okay. 17% of you are K to 2, 17% 3 to 5, 26% 6 to 8, and then we have 35% spanning all grade levels K to 8, and 4% high school college. And our last question, we have, which type of lessons work best for your classroom? And now you can pick more than one here. So we have standalone lessons on various subjects, short activities that I can use during, before, or after class, complete courses consisting of multiple lessons, courses that you plan 1 to 4 months ahead of time, or courses or curriculum that require prep prior to the school year.
It looks like select one of them.
Oh, so it was just select one. Sorry about that. Okay, we'll close that last poll. And 35% are looking for standalone lessons, 54% short activities, and 12% complete courses consisting of multiple lessons. Thank you, everyone, for helping us answer those questions. I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Teresa now so we can jump into these holiday activities that we have ready for you.
Okay, and I'll show my screen as well. Actually, I'll take my face off too. Okay, so this is ozobot.com, and we have a new blog post just for these winter lessons. So I'll show you how to navigate to that right now. If you're watching this on a rerun, you can search the title in the blog. If you look up Winter Wonderland or activities, winter activities, you should find this one. So 6 Winter Wonderland themed activities with Evo and Bit. And so we're going to just kind of go through these lessons and kind of actually do the code for a couple of them. And we're actually, should we save Rainbot for later?
Yeah, let's do Rainbot last.
We'll do that one last. Best for last. Okay. So next on the list is our Evo-Elf on the shelf. We're going to be doing through social media some fun posts of what Evo gets up to in our office. So follow along with that, and maybe if you have any ideas for your own kind of like hiding Evo or decorating Evo and doing fun things. You could probably do that in your classroom, so that's an idea. And definitely share with us any other ideas that you are going to be implementing in your class with Evo or Bit. We would love to see that and share it if you can. And then the snowplow lesson. So the link, the lesson is just through this link, so I'll click through here and show you the snowplow lesson. The snowplow is an engineering lesson. It uses Ozobot. And so I'm just going to actually dive into this lesson right here. And we'll come back to that nice picture. So the snowplow, as you could see in the picture I'll show you, is you're going to decorate your bot where you're going to have to engineer a type of snowplow. So for this lesson, students will research different kinds of snowplows, how they're shaped and how they might be used, and you'll also want to source whatever your snow is going to be. So here it looks like it's those fuzzy fuzzy little things that you can glue
Cotton
onto.
balls.
Yeah, like the fur ones.
Pom-pom balls.
Pom-poms, yeah. So that's what those are, and if you use something, make sure you're not using anything too small like glitter because that'll just get up into the wheels of your bot. So something like this is perfect. Then part of the process again is so students will design what the plow should be, what's going to be the most effective way to push the snow and then get off to the side to clear the road. And then you could also make your own road, like in this picture example. And I'll go to the lesson. It recommends 7 lessons to get through each part, and I'll just kind of walk through the suggested timeline here. So day 1 would be like an introduction of the design challenge, and then creating groups of students. Depending on your class, maybe you can get further. So day 2 would be brainstorming and sketching some ideas, and also doing research on what different snowplows look like. And then at some point, students should choose a final design that they want to move forward with. Then the next couple of sessions could be constructing that snow plow with your chosen material, if it's construction paper or something more heavy duty. You'll want to construct it on, if it's not something that can just fit on top of your bot, you probably want to put it on the skin that comes with your bots. So this one's wearing a red skin, it's a bit. So probably just for safety have that on as well. Then students are actually going to write out their pseudocode for getting their bot through the course. So I'll show you in this sheet. So here's a design sheet for your students to draw out some possible plow shapes and then any sources that they've used. Then their pseudocode would go here. So step 1, maybe you want the bot to light up a certain color to let you know it's operating. Step 2, move forward, and then step 3 could be turn left, or any other maneuvers that you need for your course. So this teacher has actually pre-designed the road, which is what is being introduced in day 1. I don't know if you could also probably choose to have students design a roadway as well, but if it's a challenge, it should be using the same road. So it's up to you if students make it or you prepare it. Of course, it's all up to you. And so that is the snowplow lesson. And then in the end, students will use the actual Ozobot. So whatever they've actually come up with, they can kind of compare what their plan was to their actual code. And that's it. It's just a few pages. That's excellent. All right. And then we'll go back to the blog post. Right. You can see all my crazy ugly icons. Sorry. I'm going to go back to the contest in a little bit. I'll show you the house lighting activity. So I'll show my webcam. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this down. So this is the map that's going to come with this lesson. It's a design of a house where the intersections are different colors. So I've preloaded this Evo with the program. So I'll get started. The idea here is that your bot's going to walk around the house and light up. And you can watch it, or you can do like a long exposure photo to kind of have the bots are going to like decorate the house in different colors. what I have the bot doing is not choosing a direction in an intersection. It's actually just kind of going randomly, so it's loving this front door right now. I'll move it so you can see it. Yep, and so the code for this is actually kind of up to you, but it's important to know that when you're doing any of the line navigation code that Bit or Evo will only make a decision at an intersection, which is why we have these kind of notches here. A right-angled turn is not an intersection. It would be considered a continuance of the line. So here's our bot lighting up. And I'll show you the program as well. Yeah, so the challenge could be lighting up. And then for Bit, Bit just has the one LED at the top, but it would be totally fine to have that create different reactions. So I'll just stop this for now, and then I'm going to show you. I'm showing this, and I'm going to show you the lesson. Okay. So you can see actually in this picture the creator of this lesson, which is us, suggests this so that when your robot is on red, you can line up as a Christmas tree in one spot and then pick the direction straight. But I wanted my bot to light up continuously, so I'll show you my program. Right. And again, for Bit and Evo. So what I did is, if I've gone over red, then light up red. And we actually have some different kind of colors or versions, so you can kind of get creative there. I have different reds. I have 3 different greens here, and then blue, and they can really just be anyway. But the important code is here, this if the intersection or line end is this color. You can find that in mode 3 in Logic. So Logic has these pre-made if statements depending on the color and then the available directions. You can also make decisions based on whether or not there is a way to go straight or left or whatever. And then since my bot is just really doing whatever they want, I'm not picking a direction, I need to have this code here to say if you've ended up at a line end, then you gotta pick back. And then we run the followed line to the next intersection or line end. So the actual movement codes, there's really only a couple, and really only one if you never see a line end. So it's pretty simple, but then note that any intersection will create a change unless it's already that color. Cool, so that is that, and I'll go back to where I'll show you, let's see, I'll show you that, so this map comes in the lesson, and it's great for all ages, whatever you need, and if you do any fun versions of this lesson, again, we'd love to see it. These are the instructions, and that's it, yeah, and then here's the map, and then of course you can totally draw your own. Just remember, this could actually be, you could cut off, if this was a T-shaped intersection, that would be fine, but this corner one, if we want some kind of reaction, we do need this extra line, and this is a good length to have, so the bot can go down the line, turn around, and come back. But you could draw your own. Yeah, let's see, let's go, get rid of this, and we'll go back. Where are we? And then we have our Winter Olympics lesson. So this is, you can see it's curling, which is very, very fun to actually do. And I like watching it. I don't know about anybody else.
I do.
Yeah, I think curling's fascinating. Okay, so this is a great lesson. It's full of activities. It's actually, there are a ton of, okay, so it's a 29-page lesson, but it's full of different activities. So, for example, it's like a passing the torch, relay race, and these are tied to the latest Winter Olympics, so you will see these dates on it, but no worries there. So if you want to do this event, if you want to do curling, so curling is just going to be coding robots to get the closest to the center shape. Figure skating. So there are a couple of things. There's ice dancing and single skating. So you can read through. So for single skating, you want to travel in order from 1 to 5 on a map. and successfully complete each figure. So they're like geometric shapes. And I'll get to the maps in a second. They're at the end. We have the alpine skiing, bobsleigh, and then the closing ceremony. Yeah, so, okay, here we go. So you can, these are some nice one-pagers. Here's what the map would look like. So this is going to be 2 pieces of paper for the full effect, and then you want to land as close to the center as possible. And then if you want to have your students read into the rules of curling, the rules are that if there's 2 teams, then let's say red goes first and they land in the white, and then blue goes next. Well, no, let's say yellow. Say yellow goes first, and then black goes next. And black ends up in the red, but yellow was in the white. Because yellow is closest to the center, they get 1 point. And then if yellow had another stone also inside the white, then they would get 2 points. So you can read through and have students maybe do this. Although when bots collide, they're not going to knock each other out. Maybe with your Evos, you could have students code out how to, like with the proximity sensors, pop off of each other. And then, okay, so there's a lot in here. Here are the maps, and then the individual lessons with ice skating. So yeah, feel free to read through this. They're all different links of activities for time. You can find one that works for you. Okay, so there's a lot there. Let's go back to, I think it's time to go to the contest. So up here we have our Evo Tricks Contest, and I'm going to show you what that means real quick. So on our bots, when you turn them on initially and they're not in classroom mode, they'll play with you, and these are one of our tricks. So it's going to kind of follow your fingers, and then if you hold the sensors, this is our music trick. And so this is like something that you can interact with over time repeatedly. Thanks. And so we also have the runaway trick. So these are inside your bot already in your Evos.
Just want to note that if you had a classroom kit, your Evos came on classroom mode, so you can't turn on these tricks because they're on classroom mode.
Yeah, they're not instantly available. But if you do want to find them, then I can show you. So when you have your Evo and you go to, I think it is more info, then you've got classroom mode here that you can select. But again, we have that for you so that your bot isn't making noise and being distracting in the classroom and running low on battery as it's kind of lighting up and running around. But if you wanted to apply it, you could just toggle this. But you have to apply it to each bot individually. Okay. So I also wanted to point out that in Ozobot we have some example programs. So I'm going to run a couple of them just to show you what are other ideas for tricks for this contest. So rev up is in our examples, which let me show you. Oh, I can show it here. So these are examples, and then I believe it is in mode 4. So each mode has different examples. So you can open up rev up here. Let's take a look at it. The way to play it is we're going to activate all of the sensors, and it's going to cause it to spin and kind of light up different colors. And then once you like the speed and direction, you let go, it's going to launch. So this is something that I can do repeatedly. So this could be like a behavior or a trick. We call them tricks. So yeah, so that's our contest. If you want to, you or your class want to build up something and submit it to us, we'd love to see it. And yeah, you can get some inspiration from our programs inside of Ozobot already. And the contest rules are, it is to submit by New Year's, and you can enter to win a swag pack and gift cards, all with we have 3 winners for this contest. So yeah, check it out. And then our final Thing is the Rainbot. So this is adorable.
Okay,
You got
so
it? Okay.
you can see my screen now. All right, so we are going to go to Rainbot landing practice and click on that. Okay, so this one was fun. I just put this together myself. You're going to print this out and you're going to get the educator's guide for the Rainbot landing practice. Now, keep in mind that you need to be aware of what model you're using, so Bit or Evo. There are directions for just Bit and then Evo itself. So you'll see at the top here, this page was the direction for Evo, and this page is the directions for Bit. They both work very similarly, but there are some differences between the Bit and Evo for this lesson. So basically the goal of this lesson is to get my Ozobot to go from the launch pad all the way to the roof of a house at the very end. And you will need some space to be able to do this activity. In the activity, it does lay out to have at least a 6-foot sheet of butcher paper. Mine isn't quite 6 feet. I would say it's about 3 feet. And it does get some distance, but if you have enough paper, you can definitely put out a 6-footer and then see how the students can move their launch pad depending on how far their spots go. So in the lesson, you'll be given little launch pads like these, and they won't be filled out. So I had filled out these little color codes. And in the guide, it will tell you which color codes to place on these little launch pads. So depending on the lesson, you'll get either 2 or 3 launch pads. But I did use all 5 with my one bot. So you aren't stuck with just the 2 launch pads. You can use various launch pads. You could even use all 5 when you're just using one of your robots. So definitely play around with that with your students. You'll get little obstacles that you can cut out and place on your track. And then also, this is why it was important for the difference between Bit and Evo, you'll get little reindeer hats to put over the Ozobot. So this one is for Bit because Bit doesn't have the sensors, so it won't block these sensors. Evo does have sensors, so it's wearing a little Santa hat. So you can see the sensors aren't being blocked by the hat whatsoever on the front or on the back. So you can just cut those out, put them on your Ozobot. So now with my launch pad, I've put in specific Ozo codes. The first Ozo code is always a 30-second Ozo code. So that's going to make my Ozobot travel for 30 seconds without turning off until it hits that 30-second mark, and then it will stop. And then these codes that come after are various speed codes that I've actually placed. And then the very last code is a jump straight line code. Now I want to explain this because a lot of people look at our direction codes and don't understand what jump straight or jump right or jump left mean. Jump means that the Ozobot is going to follow that line until it reads that jump code, and then it will turn in whatever direction that code told it to, so straight, right, or left, and essentially jump off the line and not have to follow another line. It will just keep rolling on a plain white surface until it finds another black line. So that's what jump means, and you'll see in a second when I put it on the launch pad. It will actually be able to move forward without following the line at all. And I do recommend having a white space or like a white table. If the table underneath your paper is dark, put a couple of, I guess a few layers of the paper on top of each other. I put only 1 layer of butcher paper on the floor in our office, and our office was dark, so the Ozobot was actually picking up on the lines below the paper. So once I stacked it with a few pages and it was plain white, then it worked great. So I've already created my little Ozobot. I don't have to load any program to it. You could just put this on top of your bit as well. And then let me show you my launch pad. So here is my launch pad that I've placed. And all I have to do is, I'll kind of show you this guide outline. So I have a little page at the end that I've connected to my butcher paper, and it's basically the rooftop target. So you'll see, hopefully you can see it. there are points for each little section. So if I get in the middle of the house, I'm going to get 5 points. The second ring is 3 points, and the outer ring is 1 point. So I want my Ozobot to collect as many points as possible. So I am going to move my camera at the end of the table. Kind of see us all right here. So here's my launch pad. This is where I want my Ozobot to end up. And you'll see this is my white paper, and my Ozobot I'm starting is going to be all the way here at the end. The students can place their little their launchers, so I have various of these, throughout the entire page. And so multiple students can play at the same time. So I'll just put these on the side here. But I'm starting mine off at the very, very end. So I just take my Ozobot, I turn it on, and then I'm going to set it on a little launch space. It's going to move forward and read the codes, and then it's off. So it's going to keep traveling for about 30 seconds until it reaches the end over here. It's traveling.
Good.
All right, where's it going to land? So you'll see that the Ozobot is moving slightly, so the students might have to go back. It might completely move off the paper over here, and they'll have to go back and change the position of their launcher. But I've landed in the second tier, so I've got 3 points. So you can put the students on different teams, and they can all play against each other and collect points, or they can play by themselves and just try to collect as many points as possible. So that is a fun little game. I can imagine that being a good activity for, let me pop back up. If there's some time before or after class, some free time, or we're in California, so we don't get crazy weather conditions here, but if it's a snow day or it's raining outside and the kids are stuck inside, then this is kind of a fun activity to play with them. And that was the Rainbot landing practice. So I think we went over all of the lessons in the Ozo blog. If you have any quick questions, we'll answer them. We'll take a few minutes here to answer any questions that you might have posted during the webinar. Are there any recommended holiday lessons or activities that can be done in about 30 to 45 minutes as an intro for Ozobot? Intro to Ozobot.
Yeah, I think actually the Rainbot one is pretty good because you'll learn the color codes are pretty. I can use that on there. The color codes are pretty simple. You only need 3, and it's basically you get to do speed, and then the timer, which is not often used, and then the line jump. You can explain the concept. Yeah, so that's a good quick one. You got all that stuff printed out.
Yeah.
And then actually, if you go into our lesson library, you can search our lessons, and if you put in things like winter or holiday in the search, you will see we have more things as well in our library. That's not only what we have.
Okay, can bit be used for the tricks? Unfortunately not. That would just be with the Evo.
Right.
But bit can be used. I think all of the rest of the lessons were compatible with both bit and Evo.
Yes, so far, yes.
Okay. And if anyone has any just general questions about Ozobot or troubleshooting or need any help with something, you can always reach out to support@ozobot.com. We can't go over everything right now on the webinar, but if you reach out to support, then they'll create a ticket for you and help you out with that.
And then I was just searching the library, there's a lesson, it's an activity called the Winter Scavenger Hunt, which is just an activity sheet where you place color codes to get your bot in the right place. So that would be a really easy 30-minute activity as well.
Yeah. Another thing to note is that there will be a follow-up email sent out to everyone who attended the webinar, and there'll be a link. So this is recorded. So just keep an eye out for that. It will come within a week, and we'll have the link to the Ozo blog with all these lessons. And there will be some more holiday lessons coming out a little later.
Another blog post.
Okay.
Profiling some more.
So keep an eye out for that blog post. There'll be a few more lessons. Let's see. Okay, yeah, there's no more questions, so that's great. For those of you who are, let me see, yeah, watching this live, we'll be sending out the recording of this in just a few days. So keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for our lessons coming up, the additional Wonderland lessons. If you have any questions that you all of a sudden think about after this webinar, you can reach out to that same email that will email you out the follow-up and just reply and ask your questions, and we'll go ahead and answer them for you. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you have a great holiday.
Bye.